On the African savanna, lions always play the proactive role in approaching and launching survival attacks. Each advance is accompanied by intense tension, as distance narrows and the opponent's reaction is measured in seconds. Some confrontations erupt quickly, others drag on in a stalemate, and sometimes lions are forced to stop when the risks outweigh the potential advantages. Lions are symbols of power on the African savannas, where open space dictates dominance. A mature male can weigh over 400 pounds, reaching speeds of nearly 50 miles per hour in short bursts. They live in close-knit prides, relying on strength, experience, and coordination to control their territory. But that strength doesn't exist in isolation. It's tied to familiar environments and a broad perspective. When conditions change, the lion's advantage is also challenged. In the wild, dominance isn't just about being stronger, but about being in the right place at the right time. African wild dogs are predators that rely on discipline and alertness. They react quickly, move nimbly, and are always on the lookout for their surroundings. On the open grasslands, their goal isn't to overwhelm their opponent, but to minimize risk. Encounters with lions rarely stem from prey. It's a territorial conflict. When a lion appears, the pack of wild dogs immediately disperses, breaking their own tight formation to avoid a decisive charge. They don't seek to win, but to avoid losing, widening the gap and forcing their opponent to choose. For a mature male lion, a well-timed burst of speed is enough to establish dominance. But that opportunity doesn't always present itself. When a lioness is with her cubs, the objective shifts dramatically. It's no longer about dominance, but about protection. The lioness maintains her position, advancing just enough to force the wild dogs to retreat. The confrontation ended without an absolute winner. One side possessed overwhelming power. The other used tactics to mitigate risk. In nature, the most important thing is not to defeat the opponent, but to protect what needs to be protected. Hyenas are highly organized predators. They live in a matriarchal structure with high discipline, maintaining constant communication between individuals. Their powerful bite and ability to exert constant pressure allow hyenas to control many competitive situations. However, hyenas have clear limits. When their numbers are insufficient, they rarely confront each other directly. When a male lion appears, the situation changes immediately. The hyena pack spreads out and maintains a safe distance. Lions don't just act to protect their immediate food sources. They approach and control the areas hyenas use for breeding and raising their young. This strategy isn't short-lived, but cyclical, forcing hyenas to leave their familiar territory. The confrontation ends without immediate results. Lions don't overwhelm through sheer strength, but by weakening their rival's ability to sustain their pride in the future. This is a form of long-term competition for living space and survival.
And yeah, it's really hit it now.
Leopards are solitary predators, with adult weights typically ranging from 70 to 150 pounds. They don't seek power struggles or territorial expansion. Most of the time, leopards choose to avoid conflict to maintain their safety. Primarily nocturnal, they rely on their keen observation skills and stealthy movements. In familiar conditions, leopards excel. Their quick reflexes and high speed allow them to react quickly. Their climbing abilities enable them to utilize three-dimensional space, maintaining distance from larger predators. The situation changes when lions appear in groups. A male and female lion pair can gradually narrow escape routes, leaving leopards with no space to evade. When surrounded collectively, speed and reflexes are no longer sufficient to maintain a safe distance. The encounter ends quickly. Leopards don't lose because they lack strength, but because they aren't adapted to confront organized groups. In nature, each species survives based on its own strategy, and that difference determines the outcome of those rare encounters. Cheetahs represent efficient hunting on grasslands. They are the fastest land mammals, capable of reaching speeds of over 60 miles per hour in short chases. However, their light bodies and slender bone structure leave them almost defenseless. Their survival depends on constant alertness and timely reactions. In ecological reality, cheetahs are excellent hunters, but rarely retain their prey. A single moment of delay in a chase can instantly negate any advantage. When lions appear, cheetahs don't seek confrontation. They retreat, abandoning their prey to avoid greater risk. Lions don't need to accelerate or engage in prolonged pursuits. The presence and pressure of the pride are enough to gain control of the area. For cheetahs, retreating is the only way to survive. The encounter ends without a prolonged fight. Cheetahs don't lose because they're weak at hunting, but because they aren't designed for defense. In the wild, they rely on absolute precision, where even a moment's delay can change the outcome. The adult life of a lion begins with a very low survival rate. In fact, only about 40% of lion cubs survive to adulthood. The majority are eliminated early, before they have a chance to demonstrate their strength. From a young age, lion cubs face multiple dangers simultaneously. Hyenas, leopards, snakes, and even other male lions can cause serious harm. Every small mistake reduces their chances of survival. Once they reach adulthood, male lions are not allowed to remain with the pride. They are forced to leave, wandering for years in conditions of food scarcity and without a fixed territory. Only those individuals who form alliances are capable of returning to challenge and defend their territory. This stage ends when the majority of individuals have been eliminated. The lion's power is not innate, but is forged through a long and rigorous selection process. Reaching maturity means overcoming multiple successive rounds of elimination in the wild. The African buffalo is one of the largest and most dangerous herbivores on the grasslands. An adult can weigh over 1,500 pounds with curved horns and thick muscles. They live in large herds, maintaining tight formations to protect their young and weaker members. When a lion approaches a herd of buffalo, the goal is never a direct confrontation with the entire group. The lion moves slowly, observing and waiting for a split in the formation. An older or younger individual pushed to the edge immediately becomes the focal point. The attack is coordinated, gradually weakening the buffalo's ability to resist. However, this is a high-risk hunt. Buffaloes often counterattack fiercely, and many encounters force the lion to retreat. The outcome is not always in favor of the predator. The confrontation ends when the balance of advantage becomes clear. If conditions are unfavorable, the lion stops. In nature, victory over a buffalo is not inevitable. It is a test of the limits of strength, where only the right decisions allow for continued survival. Zebras are gregarious herbivores that rely on numbers and vigilance to mitigate risk. They can run quickly over short distances and react to the group's movements. However, this coordination is easily disrupted when the herd stops to rest or moves through narrow areas. When lions approach, the zebra herd immediately accelerates. The lion's target is the individual at the edge of the formation, where reaction times are slower and less protected. The attack is brief, with lions coordinating to cut off the herd's movement. The outcome is usually determined very quickly. If the zebras maintain their speed and formation, the lions stop. If an individual is separated from the herd, the advantage shifts to the predator. In nature, this is a brief confrontation where small deviations decide the outcome. Through these encounters, the lion demonstrates that its survival is not solely based on strength. Each approach is the result of observation, patience, and risk assessment. Sometimes the lion advances, sometimes it stops, and sometimes it retreats completely. On the grasslands, power is maintained by making the right choices at the right time, not by successive victories. In the wild, lions are not only symbols of power, but also embodiments of the purest survival instincts. Every hunting moment, every recorded confrontation, reflects the fragile boundary between life and death. These are authentic images where strength, strategy, and instinct intertwine to create the story of the ruler of the savanna. Late afternoon on the savanna, the sunlight softened behind the tall grass. A herd of zebras moved toward a watering hole, their black and white stripes reflecting in the twilight. A young zebra wandered a few steps, seemingly harmlessly curious. But in the nearby bushes, a pair of golden eyes watched its every move. A lioness lay still, her body pressed against the ground. She subtly tilted her head, signaling with her eyes to two other members hidden nearby. All three moved slowly, maintaining a safe distance and forming a discreet encirclement. When the distance was only a few dozen feet, the moment to act had arrived. From the bushes, the first lioness sprang up, lunging out swiftly and accurately. The zebra, frightened, fled, but the lion's encirclement closed in from multiple directions. Their coordinated teamwork allowed them to quickly subdue their prey. In that brief moment, the hunt ended. The lions had succeeded, bringing back a meal for the entire group. When the dust settled, the lions had won decisively. On this land, it was not just strength, but perfect coordination that determined the line between survival and defeat. It was a sweltering midday on the savanna, the sun casting its rays across the dry grasslands. A herd of African buffalo was slowly making its way toward the stream, seeking a resting place after a long morning of foraging. Weighing up to 1,500 pounds, they were symbols of strength and vigilance. Yet, one wrong step could cost them all their advantage. Not far away, a pride of lions lay hidden in the tall grass. The air was silent, only the gentle breeze rustling the ground. When a buffalo separated from the herd, the predators began to move slowly and orderly. The confrontation was tense. The buffalo fought back, but under the pressure of the entire pride of lions, the balance gradually shifted in favor of the hunter. Every action was meticulously coordinated, demonstrating discipline and natural instinct. Ultimately, the hunt concluded with victory for the lions, affirming the dominance of the savanna's rulers. This victory was not just a meal, but a testament to the lion pride's strength and perfect teamwork. On the savanna, where every day is a test of survival, discipline and teamwork are always key to keeping them at the top of the hunting chain. Early in the morning, the savanna was shrouded in a light mist, and a pack of wild dogs gathered near their den. They are small predators but stand out for their incredible coordination and teamwork. Compared to lions, they are lighter, but compensate with speed, agility, and high discipline. From a distance, a lioness appeared, moving silently toward the pack of wild dogs. Tension rose as the distance narrowed. The encounter unfolded in silence, full of restraint. When one wild dog was caught, the entire pack reacted immediately, coordinating closely to rescue it. They did not abandon their ally but surrounded it, moving continuously, creating pressure that forced the lioness to retreat. The confrontation ended when the injured dog was released, and the entire pack retreated safely. That moment demonstrated the true power of the pack spirit. Despite facing lions, coordinated tactics and loyalty helped the wild dogs survive. In the wild, unity remains the most powerful weapon, surpassing even physical strength. On the prairie in the early morning, the air was thin, and the light gently spread across the grassland. A warthog was walking along an empty path. It was eating, its head raised, observing, but there was no sign of danger to make it stop. Familiarity with the land made it less vigilant, a moment of peace, and in that moment, survival became a game of fate. Not far away, a lion was hidden in the low grass. It had been watching its prey for quite some time, waiting for the right moment. The wind changed direction, carrying its scent away. The lion tensed, its eyes focused on every movement. When the distance was only a few dozen feet, its enormous body sprang up with unexpected speed. The grass was torn apart. Dust rose. The warthog turned its head, trying to run. It ran fast, but not fast enough to escape the approaching predator. In just seconds, the lion caught up, delivered a precise pounce, and brought down its prey. Everything ended quickly, cleanly, and coldly. As the sounds faded, the grassland fell silent again. The lion was victorious, and the warthog became a memory of that fleeting moment. On this land, a single moment of carelessness can cost a life. Late afternoon on the savanna, a pale yellow sunlight bathed the grasslands. A cheetah appeared, its gait light and agile. It is the fastest animal on the planet, capable of speeds of nearly 70 miles per hour. Yet, with its slender body and light weight, it was not born to fight, but to flee and hunt swiftly. The balance between speed and strength in this world is always fragile. Not far away, two male lions lurked in the tall grass. They watched in silence as an intruder approached their territory. Among predators, conflict sometimes isn't over food, but over the boundaries of survival. As the cheetah drew too close, the atmosphere became tense. The lions began to move, each step slow but steady, displaying the inherent power of the dominant species. The encounter was swift, and the disparity in strength quickly determined the outcome. The cheetah lost its speed advantage, and the lion emerged victorious, proving that speed isn't always a guarantee of safety. That moment illustrates a timeless law of nature. Speed may offer opportunities, but strength and control ultimately determine the outcome. On the savanna, there are no absolute advantages. Only adaptive instincts ensure survival. Early in the morning, the gentle sunlight bathed the grasslands. Herds of wildebeest moved in small groups toward the water source. The sound of hooves echoed on the ground, blending with the wind, creating the familiar rhythm of the savanna. Amidst this movement, a few individuals separated from the herd, unaware they were entering the territory of hidden predators. In the tall grass, 4 lionesses lay still, watching the wildebeest from a distance. When one separated from the group, they began to move slowly, closing the distance in silence. The atmosphere grew tense, and then the hunt began. Everything happened quickly, but with clear order and coordination. In an instant, the lions had subdued their prey. The hunt ended successfully, demonstrating the strength and teamwork of the top predators. In this wilderness, strength comes not only from the individual, but also from teamwork. Working as a team helps lions optimize their strength, maintain their dominance, and assert their predatory instincts as rulers of the savanna. Early in the morning, the sunlight bathed the towering figure of a giraffe. Over 18 feet tall and weighing nearly 3,000 pounds, it was a symbol of strength and vigilance. With its long legs and powerful kick, the giraffe was a formidable challenge for any predator. In the tranquil grassland, a pride of lions watched silently, waiting for their moment. When the time came, they moved in unison, in tense silence. The confrontation was brief and restrained. The giraffe kept its distance, escaping the encirclement, leaving the lions standing still in the savanna. On the savanna, not every endeavor leads to victory. The high failure rate serves as a reminder that even the most dominant predators must face their limits. The giraffe's escape is proof that in nature, strength sometimes lies in the ability to defend oneself and remain calm in the face of danger. These encounters show that lions are not only symbols of strength, but also proof of unwavering survival instincts. Every moment on the savanna is a lesson about the boundary between strength and limitations. The wild world forces all species to adapt to survive, whether predator or prey. And as the sun sets, the story of life continues like the endless breath of nature.